everyone. 9 minutes into today's trading session on this Friday. Let's get on over to Jared Blikre, who's on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Jared?
Well, we got a mixed day here, and the NASDAQ is in the red here, and it has been the leader over the last about 7-8 days. Just taking a look at the 5-day returns, they're still about 5.2% here, and the Dow has been taking a back seat, but is the leader today. So you can see it's up 145 points, just shy of 3% over the trailing week. Now, let's take a look inside the market. In terms of a sector action today, we are seeing, hold on for it, that's not there. Let's take a look here, and we got energy in the lead. Crude oil bouncing back a little bit. We're going to talk about commodities in a second here. Consumer discretionary, that's XLY, that's up 1% as well. And then you have utilities and materials. So not a whole lot of action here. Communication services, which houses all of those, well, it houses Snap, among the other Twitter, and I guess we got some other guys in there too. Let's take a look at the social scene here, because I didn't really want to talk about Snap, but it seems to be the story of the day. And fortunately, the Wi-Fi Interactive is not cooperating with me. So we're going to take a look at some other sectors here. Here's my leaders index. We got BETS, that's a gambling ETF. That's up almost 2%. Home builders, the liquidity, the bond ETF, that's down as well. We're seeing KWEB, some Chinese stock action here. That's down. ARK Invest components, those are down. And if we take a look, some of these guys have been showing some signs of strength lately, but not today. Finally, I want to take a look at the S&P 500. We're seeing some strength here over the last 7-8 days. Finally did get a breakout here. And I don't know if it's off to the races. I did do a webinar with Liz Young yesterday, and she's cautiously optimistic that we could have a bottom in the near-term future. But of course, this really depends on what's happening with commodities and especially the dollar.
Yeah, let's talk about commodities. And then besides social scene, I think we can call it broken social scene, which the 5 Gen Xers familiar with that band from the early 2000s will appreciate. But I want to ask you about that commodity story that you referenced here, which has to do with a potential deal between Russia, Ukraine, and the United Nations to resume exports of food and grains through the Black Sea. And I wondered on this potential deal if we're seeing any kind of ripple effect in the market.
We saw a little bit. I think it was somewhat expected and telegraphed, because at my last check of the markets, wheat was down about 3%. Not the dramatic move you might have expected if this were unexpected. I got to start with the U.S. dollar index. This is a year-to-date chart. We've been tracking this. As the dollar has been screaming higher along with the short end of the curve, we have seen commodities take a back seat. So the dollar is really not doing much today, and that's kind of a benefit for a lot of the risk markets. Let's take a look at the futures index here. Here we go. And we can see wheat is down about 4%. So we've seen this big move down in commodities over the last few months. Here's a 2-month chart of wheat. You can see it's down 35%. So a lot of this movement probably already baked into the cake here. If we take a longer term view of wheat, we can see that huge run up, but we're basically back to what I would consider almost normal levels. So good news on that front, and incrementally helping, I guess, prices down the line.
Jared Blikre, see you in the office soon. Thanks so much.